The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
You're listening to the Sports Scramble podcast, where four friends serve up a weekly plate of sports with a side of SEC bias. Now, here are your hosts, Chet, Jacob, Wade, and Tyler.
Let's go!
Hello, world. Welcome into this. I was trying something new there. It's got a laugh immediately out of Tyler. Welcome in to this week's episode of the Sports Scramble podcast, brought to you by our friends over at Belly Up Sports. I'm your host, Chet. We got the full crew on, the full panelists, all three of them. Tyler, I can say hello, world, because we have listeners in Germany. Have you seen that?
That's true.
So, I don't know. We got NFL games in Germany, so maybe they're just hanging out, shooting the shit, catching the breeze. Wasn't a college football team, but how y'all doing tonight on this wonderful Monday? I think it's raining out Monday night.
Doing all right.
Hey, we're sweating out fantasy football, aren't we, Jacob?
Yes, we are sweating it out.
Jacob's got a 7-point deficit to overcome after his opponent scored negative points in his quarterback position. Shout out Matty Ice, start Deshaun Watson. I feel like in his case, and then also in Bijan Robinson's case, when they're like, I don't think I'm going to play, they should probably mark him as doubtful and do something for us fantasy owners. Like Bijan wasn't even marked as questionable, and I started him, and he got me a solid 0.3 points. I don't know about you.
They are under investigation for that because the NFL, they don't necessarily care about your fantasy league, but they definitely care about what Las Vegas has to say. And when you have, lines and stuff determined based off of the best players being out there, they definitely take that serious. And I think you'll see some fines for the Falcons.
I think they should have to forfeit the win. That way everybody hammering gets his slot back in his sleeper league. And then I think they should have to refund fantasy owners at least 15 points, because I think he's good for a good 15-pointer right there. I
don't know. Mr. Koo hit the game winner for you and got you.
Well, Koo can keep his points, but I think Bijan owners should get an additional 15 because of that we were lied
15
to.
Points.
I mean, look,
a common
Bijan
courtesy you
Robinson's-
want.
Yes, common courtesy. Thank you,
Maybe
Tyler.
5
the
to
game last
15.
year
A
when
couple of those strokes,
it's like a
Jamar
handicap.
Chase's game ended because it was the first ever NFL game to not be completed, and people are just like, "Oh yeah, tough luck, circumstantial."
Well, somebody died on the field, man. Bijan lied to us. I mean, he averages 15 points a game. I feel like that's a pretty good. Hey, give us a little boost. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I'm gonna win. I don't want to jinx myself because the 49ers defense is still playing, but I'll probably win that matchup. But we got college football, NFL, some baseball going on right now. Diamondbacks beat the Phillies. They're forcing a game 7. Who takes it? You going Phillies or Diamondbacks?
D-backs all the way.
Come on, dogs.
I would love to see the D-backs do it, but I got to go
It's at
to
the
Phillies.
bank, Citizens Bank in Philly.
Ooh, yeah. I'm going
Momentum.
Phillies.
Hey, look, momentum.
I'm just
momentum is
going for
on the D-back
underdogs.
side.
I'm tired of seeing the same teams in the
Yes.
World Series.
Do you think
we haven't seen the D-backs do anything since 2000. So I'm like,
I would like to see the Diamondbacks, but the bank's a hard place to win. I mean, Jason Kelce's going to be there. Maybe Travis, maybe Taylor. You never know. If Taylor Swift shows up to a game 7 in Philadelphia, I think that place is going, or Fox is going to have a breakdown. They're going to melt.
Speaking of that, I saw a post. This was last night. I meant to send it to you guys, but it was 2 guys. One was wearing a Steelers jersey, and the guy was like, I don't know what the hell. He's just wearing whatever. And they were he had a running bet when his buddies came over to his apartment. He said, you have to take a shot every time they show Taylor Swift on the screen. And he showed the screen and then showed his buddies, and it was the third quarter, and they were both just passed out on the couch.
I will say Red Zone only showed her once, and people were like giving what's his name? Who's the guy that does Red Zone? Scott something, right?
Oh, Scott Hansen.
Yeah. People were giving him crap on Twitter. It's like, dude, they showed her one time after Travis's touchdown. But I think her and Brittany Mahomes have a cool little dance they do now. You saw that little like bap bap and then hip.
That was weird.
Actually,
That
my
made me
favorite
very
Taylor Swift
uncomfortable.
Prince of the weekend was the left tackle's name is Taylor, and like Al Michaels, whoever was calling the game was like, Patrick and Taylor Travis and Taylor sure have a special connection. Oh, it's the 325-pound man to his left, and it was like, oh my gosh, what a reach!
Yeah, no, I'm cool with it. I mean, the NFL's definitely
They're
playing
milking
into it, but they get so many more people to watch the game. People are tuning in and they're talking about it. Bad publicity is good publicity. I know Tyler loves Taylor Swift, so he's hype every time they show her. How about Jackson Mahomes lurking behind her though in the box?
Oh, he's back.
You think there's a little bit of, hey Taylor, would you do this dance with me, or was there like they said, Jackson, you can come into this box, but you under no circumstance can talk to her. You cannot be in her presence. They're probably kicking themselves that he's even in the shot. I mean, that's a risky move there.
How do they get in the same box?
Well, she's sitting with Brittany. I mean, that's
Yeah, I
her
think Brittany and Jackson
brother-in-law.
are still tight. They're just told that they can't be like, buddy TikTok.
Does she have a
dancing,
restraining
whatever.
order?
No.
They probably just can't go on the sidelines and do the stuff they like were doing, and they probably
yeah.
like. I'm sure Patrick's PR team came in and was like, "Look, Jackson, you gotta shut this shit down, man."
And he
Well,
kind of did it
TikTok's
to himself
deactivated.
with all the allegations and whatnot too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. After that, I bet you the PR team came in and was like, "Look, dude, delete everything. Like, take down your social media. Just disappear, and everybody will forget about it for a while." But then he pops up behind Taylor Swift, and it's like I saw a meme. It's like the Undertaker one where he's looking over his shoulder and he's like Taylor Swift, and it's Jackson Mahomes asking for a TikTok, and he's like staring over her. I was like, that's probably what happened. So, but
Brittany Mahomes is like, she's just weird, like her just demeanor and everything just makes me uncomfortable. It's
Okay.
very weird. Like she's like, I don't know. I keep going back to that video of them on the sideline at the basketball game, and like she's oh my god, like I don't know, she's so petty, and it's like I just can't see her and Taylor Swift getting along. It just seems weird.
It does seem a little fake.
It does. It seems very celebrity motivated. I don't know.
Yeah. And not wanting to lose the spotlight. So if she can hold on to like 50% of it, that's better than losing all of it.
Like Taylor Swift was sitting next to Travis's mom in the first game that they played, and now all of a sudden here comes Brittany Mahomes out of nowhere and is like right there
dinners
at her hip.
She's attending the dinners where her girls' nights.
Like, she's like, "Oh, Taylor Swift is there. I gotta squeeze my way in there," and a little weird.
No, Tyler, you got to do the Patrick Mahomes voice asking Travis.
No,
hey, can my wife come hang out with your girlfriend? Like, hey man, look, I can't do it. I hate to ask you this, but
he sounds like a drunk
get into the limelight. You think she could come to girls' night? Tyler, you got to do it, man. You better add to.
I haven't done it in a while.
So Chet ditched the TMZ segment of the week and just made the whole show a TMZ segment. Is what I'm getting.
We're creating headlines.
Taylor Swift checking.
Yeah, Taylor Swift checking. That's what we're going to start the show every week with the Taylor Swift checking.
We need to have a counter of how many times we say it.
I mean, the Chiefs are probably loving this, right? It's great PR for them. It's great PR for Brittany Mahomes, who was like a nightmare last season. They're playing great. Travis Kelce is going off. CBS is having a field day with his stats. So it's just like, I mean, the NFL is fabricating some stuff here, just like the Chargers, and that Chargers super fan. She was back. She had the Buffalo Wild Wings hat on this time. So is she a plant or not? What do y'all think?
Nah, I think she's an actual fan.
I thought she was at first. I think she's legit now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think, Futch?
Plant.
You think she's a plant? Why do you think she's a plant?
Fraud.
Fraud.
Yeah.
She's milking the attention.
The fraud of the
now.
week is back.
I like it. Well, I think she's a plant because who else? She went on the Pat McAfee show on a random Tuesday afternoon or like Tuesday at 11 o'clock. She's got a high quality camera, a microphone. Like, you telling me just this random lady took off work and was like, I've got the full streaming set up.
Hey, if you can afford a suite at a Chargers game at SoFi Stadium, you probably have some money.
ESPN probably sent her that shit. Like, let's be real. Like,
they probably gave her tickets and was like, hey,
oh, I'm sorry. They don't have suites. They have huts at SoFi Stadium. It's a immersive experience.
They got strip clubs at SoFi Stadium now.
Yeah, they got that too.
The private room.
Yeah,
Let me take you to the private room.
Well, it wasn't private, bro. It was out in the open.
Oh, is that why Brett Maher missed 2 field goals? The little distraction beneath the upright.
I mean, Blueface brings his own strip club to the show. And did you notice all the like rich people next to him? All the guys were like slowly like, oh, what is this? They'd like take their phones out and their video.
There were kids in that suite too. I was like,
it's never dull at SoFi Stadium because it's just a bunch of rich people that are going to hang out and they don't care about either team that's on the field. And you got like robots in the stands, you know, for like movie promotion.
AI, like what do we do?
The strip club was closed on a Sunday, so the rapper takes it to the
and then he proposed to his girlfriend. He proposed to his girlfriend afterwards. Like, he's throwing one. He got like some shit talked to him on Twitter because he's throwing $1 bills, not hundreds. People were saying, "Come on, man, you can't throw." I guess he had to pay for that suite, right? And then he had to pay for the strippers to come. And then he turns around and proposes to his girlfriend after he's making it rain on all these girls, and she said yes. So congratulations to Blueface and whoever his new fiance is. I wish you a wonderful marriage and more Rams football games to come.
Yeah, that's not gonna last.
Yeah, that was quite the sight. So let's see. Well, we talked Rams, we talked Chiefs, the Patriots. Fudge, we gave you so much crap 2 weeks ago, and let us have it. Your Patriots.
Hey, but football giveth and it taketh, because you had a great Sunday but a bad Saturday.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Let's talk about the emotions, Futch, on Saturday to Sunday. How were you feeling Saturday during that Penn State game?
I felt like somebody pushed me into the Grand Canyon, and then like somebody like by the time I got through Sunday, it was like my head was above water now. Like that was probably about it. But I'm still in the canyon. I don't know.
You got Indiana though coming up.
Yeah, got Indiana. I mean, we're basically
got your Grizzlies
playing.
tipping off on Wednesday.
Yes,
and you might win your fantasy game
without John Moran.
Dude, I really don't care anymore. Like, Penn State's still in the top 10. At the end of the day, I still think they're going to get a New Year's 6 game, even if they go 10-2. Like, I think that's kind of where it's at.
Well, that's the Penn State motto, right?
It is.
With James Franklin.
The Penn State 10-2. My thoughts, I've been thinking about it the last few days, and I think that James Franklin needs to go find himself a new hobby, and I think that they need to promote Manny Diaz to the head coach for Penn State.
From Miami?
You see what he did at Miami? He cannot.
Well, he's at Penn State now.
He's at Penn State, and he's the DC. So, I mean, to have one of the best defenses in the country, their defense kept them in that game on Saturday. If they don't have the defense, they're out of the game by halftime. So,
well,
you held Ohio State to 20
needs
points.
To bring in James Franklin.
Hey, speaking of Arkansas, I heard a rumor. Gus Malzahn back in the SEC. Arkansas might be shopping around. I mean, this Arkansas, what's his name? Pittman. He reminds me of Coach O, right? Like, you hire the good old boy, and they didn't get a championship out of him. But now it's like, all right, this experiment has failed. You have KJ Jefferson, who, I mean, he sucked it up Saturday, but I think he's probably one of the better quarterbacks in the SEC to not be able to like do anything for the last. He's been there 3 years. I think it's time to move on. But some people are saying Gus Malzahn, so just throwing that out there. He was fired from Auburn.
Dan Mullen is still out there.
At least Gus Malzahn is coaching. I mean, he's got UCF looking good with 35-year-old John Rice Plumlee.
Oh, I forgot Malzahn was coaching still.
Yeah, he's over there at UCF.
Hey, they almost pulled off a big upset.
Yes, that was that plays into my dog of the week, so we'll talk about that when we get to dog of the week. But That could be interesting. They fired their offense coordinator, and after they lost to Mississippi State 7-3, to only score 3 points against Mississippi State. Sorry, Cameron, but the dogs are dog shit. To put it lightly.
We'll find out this Saturday when they play Auburn. That might be another 3-2 game.
That's a snooze fest.
Which team wants to get to 10? Neither.
Yeah. I mean, Auburn's just. I thought they were going to pull it out against Ole Miss, especially with the Hugh Freeze kind of. I think if it was in Oxford, it would have been a little different, just because it's like Hugh Freeze returning to Oxford. I didn't realize it was at Auburn, but there's gonna be some coaching mix-ups before the end of the year. But Futch, back to your point about Penn State, James Franklin, you think they're going to make a change during the season, or they'll just kind of wait and see how it plays out? Because he still has a chance to beat Michigan.
Yeah, they still have a chance. Like they'll never make a move in the middle of the season. My biggest thing, and of course, driving home from Nashville, I had a lot of time to think about this. And that is,
you playing golf this weekend?
Did I play the golf this weekend? No.
Oh,
I spent too much time in the car. Lauren wanted to go to a Jonas Brothers concert, so I was dragged to the Jonas Brothers concert. Hey, it's not as bad as look.
Hey, it was okay.
Hey,
it was okay.
NASCAR Neil's sister was there with you.
It's better than getting dragged to a Jason Derulo concert, okay? So, I'm okay.
Keep saying drag like it's a bad thing, man. I'd have been front line.
Own it.
It was fun.
Own it.
It was fun. I had a good time.
Did they sing Burn It Up?
Yeah, they did. They did. Is that your favorite?
Yes. You're 3,000.
Is that your shower music?
I mean,
no, that's Taylor Swift.
Shampoo. You're right. But Burn It Up's the throw it on late at the party when everybody's too drunk, and it's just like, let's listen to some 2000s Disney Channel.
Yeah, perfect. No, back to Penn State. I think for me, Penn State's a legacy coach football team. You had Paterno for what felt like 2 lifetimes. I mean,
yeah,
and then you brought in Bill O'Brien, and he basically did nothing for Penn State and ended up leaving, going to New England, coached with Bill Belichick, then went to Alabama, and now he's back in New England. And he still hasn't improved. But
offense still sucks.
Yeah, offense still sucks. But I think that right now, of course, they signed Franklin to another 8-year deal, and I think he's under contract till 2032 or something, and they'd have to buy his contract out. It's one of the biggest contract buyouts in college football. And
bigger than Jimbo? Jimbo's at like $68 million right now.
They could just trade him back to Vanderbilt for like the rest of the athletic department.
What if they just do a swap? Jimbo, fresh start. Same contracts, just swap.
Penn State would be either worse or they would not be good at all.
Yeah. I just think there's too many good people for that job at Penn State. That's a legacy spot. And you just don't go hire somebody off of impulse. And that's what they did with Franklin. I don't think anybody saw James Franklin going to Penn State to coach, what? I don't know how many years ago it was. I can't even remember. But it's just one of those
flashy hire at the time.
Yeah,
but
it was different.
It's whacked its luster, you
can't win the big games.
Yeah, you can't win big games. If you can't beat them, then we have to move on. It's one of those things where we used to beat them every single year.
3-15.
Mm-hmm.
Or
he's
sorry, the past 10. He's 0-10 on the road.
On the road against top 10 teams.
He's 3-13 in top 25 I don't think it's top 25. I think it's top 15 matchups. He's 3-13 in the past 16 games. That's definition.
And I've been to two of those 3 games. So
what were they?
One was against Michigan in 2017, and the other one was in 2018.
So you have to go to the Michigan game this year.
Basically, yeah. Which I'm not going. No, I won't. I won't bring myself to do that.
You don't want to see Heisman favorite JJ McCarthy?
Give me a break. He ain't no Heisman favorite. Get that out of here.
But he is in Vegas.
He is technically the leader.
That's crazy to me.
All he does is hand the ball off.
Michigan's got their own problems right now. Let's be real. So
Connor Stallions.
Yeah, great job there way to put the right foot forward.
Is
And
the
get
Big
off.
20 about to explode? Right before they add the Pac-12 brethren.
This is the last time that we will have Ohio State for the next 2 years. So
you don't play him
perfect for James
nice.
Franklin. He can win against the likes of Indiana and Rutgers and hold on to his job.
We have
Maybe
Washington.
play Oregon.
We have Washington and Oregon.
The Washington's going to be the fall off like LSU in 2019. You're going to lose your quarterback. You're going to lose your top receiver.
Don't
you're
even
running
put
back.
that damn team. They struggled against Arizona State.
I'm not comparing them.
He's talking about the demise.
I'm talking about the fall.
Yeah, but I just
have a lot of guys
go
go to the draft.
2019.
Oh yeah, no that in that comparison from who was it? Aaron Murray. That's over. Right?
2023 LSU, their offense is about comparable to the 2019 team right now.
I think their offense is actually performing better. Numbers wise, it might have dropped a little bit after last week.
Defense.
Army.
Defense. There's no defense.
Hey.
It's the same with your team. You have no offense and a good defense.
Hey, look.
There you go.
Drew Aller is such a mid quarterback. My God.
Why would they?
If they use him right, if they let him
Clutch?
throw a pass over 30 yards, and maybe he'll friggin' be okay.
Do you think it's
it's not going to change with Bill O'Brien as your offense coordinator.
Well, yeah, I mean that's where they screwed up in the first place. So,
do you think?
Look at Mac Jones. That's his future.
Yeah.
Or do you think it's Drew Aller not being comfortable to throw past 20 yards?
I think he's comfortable with it. I don't see why not. I mean, their longest pass of the season was their first play of the season against the West Virginia, which went for I think
it was like 60 yards,
65-yard touchdown or something. And that's the longest play that they've had. They put too much reliance on the running core of the running back core. Like Katron Allen and Nick Singleton are really good running backs, but they're only really good running backs if you balance the offense out. And Penn State doesn't balance the offense out. And I've said for years that Penn State plays east-west football instead of north-south. And
they're like the Reggie Bush of the Big Ten.
It makes me so angry them throwing screen passes. It's like, hey, let me just block this guy into this guy, and then maybe he can run past. Like it's just all hypotheticals, and it's there's really no clear plan.
Well, you can hire Pete Carmichael. All your problems will be fixed. We'll swap Pete Carmichael for James Franklin.
No.
We'll take James Franklin on the
I'm good
Saints.
with being 10-2. I don't want to be the I don't know, the 8-10 Saints if they're lucky.
Well,
8-10 means playoffs, baby.
That is true. Wade, I want to hear about your Army trip with NASCAR Neil in Baton Rouge. Your tailgates with the equipment crew. Y'all had good seats. You got to see the guy dropping in with the parachute, the American flag. Tell us about the atmosphere Saturday night in Death Valley.
Oh yeah, NASCAR Neil and I had a good weekend here in Baton Rouge. It was the LSU equipment staff alumni meetup. So Neil came in, met up with the guys on Friday night, and I think that Neil had a Mick Ultra in his hand about 46 of the 48 hours he was here. Starting at the equipment meetup. He had a great time from what I heard and got some cool swag that he can show you guys. And then we got the Mary Lee donuts. That's an essential for any game day morning. And yeah, we made it over to campus for tailgating, snagged some free parking. And let me tell you, Neil knows just about everybody when it comes to LSU football equipment. And just in general, he's just, very social guy, knows a lot of people. So we bounced around to a couple tailgates, and we got to go into the L Club, which is the athletics alumni tailgate. So Neil gets to be a member of that, being a part of the team in his capacity. And at first we were like the only ones there, but then we made our rounds at tailgates and we came back. And all of a sudden, we're in a conversation with Danny Etling and Foster Moreau, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? And then I met Chad Jones.
Did you catch that pass?
Did not bring that up. I had a couple beers in my system at that point. Really had to bite my tongue, but super great guy, and just his character to be able to shake that off and realize it's not what defines him. And honestly, the Saints had a lot of miscues on Thursday, so. It was cool to meet those guys and get the insider experience, if you will. And then I thought the game was just what LSU needed. I thought that the offense came in, did their work, looked sharp. And then it was the Nuss Bus show. I liked how they left some of the starting wide receivers in for Nussmeier so he could get a true gauge of his abilities, because let me tell you, he can sling it, and you need that first round speed to get underneath the ball. So
yeah, Malik Neighbors had that. I mean, that was just a dime drop.
Oh,
right
I mean, it was like
basket.
It was in the air
basket.
forever. Like it might have gone higher than the parachutes at the beginning of the game. Like it was just like sitting in space, and really good throw there. And yeah, that was pretty much a wrap. LSU gets the bye week, and we get to start talking about Alabama for 2 weeks. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that matchup. If it was in Baton Rouge, Wade, I wouldn't be coming to Florida. I'd be calling you about going to that Alabama game, because that's gonna be a rowdy one. But like I said, we'll be there for Florida. We'll have a good time then. I guess we'll talk about the LSU Alabama game probably come next week, right? Y'all have your SEC talk and your college football coast to coast. I think that's one of the bigger games that in 2 weeks. So we won't spend a ton of time, but I'm ready for it. It's going to be top offense in the country versus a very good defense. I mean, you got like an offense, I think they average 54 points a game versus a defense that's only averaging 16 points per game allowed. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that shapes up. There are no slouches. I mean, their offense is slow, but it's Nick Saban and it's LSU versus Alabama. It happens every year. It's like a Penn State, Ohio State, or Penn State, Michigan game, right? It's a rivalry game that usually is a good game for the majority of the time.
The game of the year.
Yeah, game of the year, Fudge. Game of the century is what we're calling it this time.
The game. Man, like the world famous Ohio State Buckeyes, man.
Oh, and Maserati.
Oh my god.
Yeah, let's talk about Maserati Marv. I mean,
oh my god.
Marvin Harrison, aka Maserati Marv. If you didn't hear it enough. But Michigan, we talked about them. Their little Connor Stallions. Tyler, I saw you add to the notes. He bought tickets with his personal credit card and went to 11 different Big Ten schools and filmed practice. How is that illegal? Or not practice. He filmed the game. Like, how is that illegal?
Well, if you're filming a game versus filming like hand signals and stuff, I guess that's illegal.
But is it illegal because he's a staffer?
Yeah,
I mean,
Neil said
it's written in your contract that you have to abide by certain NCAA rules when it comes to filming it. Like most of the time, like you can't even film your own team at practice most of the time. Like there's
But if it's not at practice, if it's at the game, and then
Neil said that certain people in an official capacity are not allowed in certain areas
right
during games.
But if he's in the stands and he's filming the game, right? He's filming the plays, and he's got them doing their hand signals in the background. Then he takes it back to his hotel and goes, maybe I can figure these out.
That's fine.
But he figures it out.
Zoom in on play call sheets and hands, like, and why do you have to have?
Well, I get that
seats right there.
Depending on where the guy's
why do you have
sitting,
to have seats behind the opponent's bench?
Right.
Well, I'm just trying to make arguments for both sides here, but I think it's probably
kind of like the Astros. You know, like the Astros were so dominant, and they probably could have won the World Series on their own merit that year.
Yeah. But they were beating
and ruined their legacy. Like there's always going to be that what if, even if this ends up being nothing. It's like Michigan is having a phenomenal year, and now you got this cloud of uncertainty, and people are going to look down on the program. I guess some people would anyways, right, Jacob? But I don't know. I just feel like you're Michigan. You could go out there and beat 10 out of your 12 opponents by 20 points.
Well, you have a Heisman quarterback
stealing stuff.
I mean, you have a Heisman caliber quarterback lead the Heisman race. No, I don't.
Because he puts this on his hand and everything else, like a whoop-de-doo. Like,
it looks like you copied him.
He's not. He's not even the best player on their team.
I don't know what film y'all are watching. I think JJ McCarthy's great. I would take him over any quarterback but Jaden Daniels.
I think their best player on their team is Roman Wilson. Like I honestly think their wide receiver is the best player on their team.
That's the man to take every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we don't win a lot of bets, but Tyler's got a touchdown bet. You better take it.
There you go.
But at the end of the day, it comes down to Georgia and Michigan are the only two teams currently in the top 10 who hasn't played anybody with a pulse. So until they play somebody with a pulse, they're going to sit there at 1 and 2, and they're probably going to go somewhere. Like it's just one of those things where everybody in the top 10, for the most part, with the exception of Florida State and Ohio State this weekend, haven't played anybody. I mean, that's the thing about it. So I don't know.
Well,
it's one of those where.
Go ahead.
It's one of those where we'll really find out how good Michigan is. Like, we're 8 games into the season in
they haven't played anybody.
A 12-game schedule, and they haven't played anybody yet. So that's going to change next year, and I think the true Michigan will come out in the next few years, because I just don't – they're not a I'm going to match you shot for shot offense. They're not. I mean, they pride themselves on defensive stops. So if they're going to get defensive stops against Pac-12 teams that are coming in that are offensive powerhouses right now, like, good luck. I mean, that's kind of where it's at right now.
Well, let's be real. The NCAA is not going to do anything to Michigan, right? It's going to take like 6 years for them to come up with a punishment, and they're going to be like, oh, they have to void the win versus Minnesota or whoever, right? Like big whoop-de-doo. We'll see if these signs actually made a difference, because they've shut them down. So who do they play this week? Do they play anybody?
Not anybody of note.
Yeah, for real, not anybody of note. They might be on the bye. Let's see here. Big Ten.
I think
they're on the bye.
Yeah.
They've been on the bye since the season.
They've been on the bye all season.
Yeah, because they've got they took their bye week before Purdue.
Well, sometimes you don't get to choose.
Huh.
So I don't know.
Well,
maybe it's kind of nice too. Maybe Purdue will knock them down a little bit, and I mean, they beat Michigan State 49-0. Okay, well, Michigan State might as well be the Boys and Girls Club of America. Like, that's just like I don't like
that stadium was empty.
They're not allowed. They're not allowed at the Boys and Girls Club of America.
Yeah. Have you heard who their coach is? He's not allowed to go around the Boys.
Did you see what they did on the video board?
We probably shouldn't. We probably shouldn't mention what it was.
Yeah, the fact that you had to think about 2 different incidents for why that joke could be relevant is not good.
Yeah. We probably shouldn't mention it. I was going to bring it up. Thank you, Tyler. But if you haven't seen it, go look on Twitter. Not a great look for Michigan State right now.
Can we talk about USC?
Yeah, you have a rant about Caleb Williams. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I have a rant about Caleb Williams. Okay, so they lose that game, okay? And okay, you got beat by a better offense than you, and it's only because you have 0 defense. Good for Utah. Congratulations to Utah for putting up
with their 3rd string quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, look, the guy's an absolute dog. He's already wearing the C on his chest, and he's ready to go.
Yeah. I saw that. How is he a captain? He's the 3rd stringer.
He was promoted to captain
of the team.
I mean,
I'll take it.
Whatever. I mean, next man up. So I don't know. I like Utah. I like that they're gritty and stuff. But my thing was, it's the end of the game. Utah kicks the game winner, and Caleb Williams sits there and warms the chair for like a solid 5 minutes. It never gets up, never shakes anybody's hand. Like, at least go over and shake the other quarterback's hand and tell him it was a good game. Like, just sits there.
Some
and then
sportsmanship.
proceeds to stand up and have somebody else carry his helmet, like his little chauffeur, while he walks back to the locker room. It's one of those things where it looks bad. Like, if I'm a player and Caleb Williams is my quarterback, and I see him sitting on the bench while I'm out there, shaking hands with guys, talking to him.
It's
like,
not a leader.
Like, come on, that's not a leader. And then we're going to talk about he can be the number 1 player in the NFL draft. Like,
or own part of a team.
Yeah, no, that is some absolute insanity if he thinks he's owning any part of an NFL.
Guess what? They own you for a very cheap contract.
Equity while he sits on the bench and just warms it and does absolutely nothing. I
saw a take from
can't have a warm bench in Chicago.
No,
well, somebody's got to sit on it. I saw a take. What's his name? Emmanuel. I'm talking. I saw a tweet. Yes, he said that Caleb Williams should sit out the rest of the season.
I like that
because I know
You'd
you
have
do
to
'cause you don't
return
like him.
about $2 million worth of NIL deals.
But is that he says they have no playoff chances. His Heisman chances are gone. At that point, does it every team who's got like a NFL draft eligible player just say, I'm not going to play? I mean,
Don't
you
open the
can't
doors
do
for
that.
it. We've already seen it with bowl games.
Right. He's obviously not going to play the bowl game. We all know that. But I would think, I mean, that would just, they got to like write something into, like you said, these NIL contracts. You can't let, I mean, I don't want to say best player in the sport, but a very influential, highly rated player just be like, nah, I'm done. And basically
Well,
quit
Jadeveon
school.
Clowney did it. Jamar Chase did it. I mean,
But like
It's a
that's
I didn't like
different,
when Jamar did it either, but they could claim COVID and he didn't play the entire season. I'm talking about Caleb Williams playing 6
yeah,
games. Being like,
mid-season, you were super hyped 4 weeks
Yeah.
ago when you were the Heisman favorite. Now you're not.
Tyler,
like
you
that'll be
keeping
the
your mouth shut. What do
downfall.
you think?
It's all a bunch of BS. If you quit, then you are a big old P word.
And you can't do that in the NFL either because they got tickets to sell.
They got
And,
contracts, and that talks. You play your game.
Yeah, not going to happen.
I thought that was a terrible take, and I was like, if that happens, that's like you said, it's going to open the door. I mean, them already not playing the bowl games kind of sucks, but I guess it's like, why play this game that literally means
I
nothing?
get it because it's after the end of the fall semester, and if you're not going to be back for the next semester, it kind of
Right.
makes sense. I don't love it. I think NIL cuts back some of this, but if now we're talking about the highest paid player in college football opting out, like what incentive is there
Well,
to
that's
keep
Shadur
these
Sanders.
guys in uniform?
Shadur is reevaluated. He's at like 4.6 million, and Bronny James is at 5.2, and Bronny James has not stepped on the court yet.
You might not even.
That's insane.
My thing with Caleb Williams is that if he does decide to sit out at any point throughout the rest of the season, there's going to be a lot of backlash for USC. Like it's
Definitely.
this now starts the downfall of USC. Like if
Yeah,
that
there have been
that
Lincoln
continues to
Riley's to
happen,
the NFL like
one of those
by
things where-
this season.
yeah, it's clearly for personal benefit. And people that are filling those stands at USC are not there to watch Caleb Williams. They're
Half the
there
people
to
aren't
watch
there anyway.
USC football. Like I think that it looks
Blueface.
terrible. So I don't understand why you would ever have somebody do that. And if he does decide to do that, then he'll probably slip in the draft. I mean, that at the end of the day, that's probably what will happen.
Well, the team he's going to go to is going to lose more than 2 games a season. They're going to be probably a cellar dweller.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes to who's got the first pick right now? Well, I guess it's too early to
Carolina.
tell, but-
Panthers
Yeah.
via the Bears.
So, Tyler, you're a fantasy football expert. Do you think
Okay.
the Panthers would skimp on Bryce Young already if they don't win a game?
No.
Well, they already had to give up their pick to get
the Bears. The Bears
Oh,
right now
I'm
would
sorry.
have the first 2 picks of the draft.
Well, is the Justin Fields experiment done in Chicago?
No, I don't think it is.
Not for
I think
the
he-
attitude we're seeing with Williams right now.
I
If he
think
won
that,
the Heisman,
that
maybe.
one of their first picks would have to be Marvin Harrison Jr., and they would have to be complete fools because it's DJ Moore and who else on that team? They need
Not Cole
receivers,
Kmet.
Or they need
Clearly.
some defense.
Well, what defensive player are you taking at number 1?
No, I don't know the draft class that well enough this year,
me
but
neither.
Penn
You're
State,
getting,
of course, we're
O-line,
talking
probably
skill
Penn State's
position.
offensive tackle, and then Marvin Harrison
might be
Jr.
the-
your first 2 picks.
Yeah, they might be
That's
the
what they
first
need.
2 picks in the draft. Like that's
I think just plain old attitude wise, Caleb Williams should fall. And I don't think he's that good. Like someone else tweeted, best
People are
college
comparing him to
football.
Mahomes.
Yes, best college football player ever to not reach the college football playoff. Well, there's your answer. He plays for USC, who's just an offensive team. You tell me he can't get it done in the big games to actually get himself into the playoff? That doesn't mean he's the best college football player ever.
I fault Riley's coaching style at USC from day one. I faulted it. It's too
Just at
offensive
Oklahoma.
based. They have no
He was
defense.
too
Oklahoma
stubborn
had
to
no.
not get rid of Alex Grinch.
Yeah,
Alex
Oklahoma
Grinch
had
is
They're
no.
not
Not
good at
understand
Oklahoma
that
now. They
he's
got
the
some
problem.
defense and they're undefeated.
Yeah. Venables has taken them to the top of the Big Ten.
Uh,
They did just survive against UCF. I would have loved to see him lose to UCF. Just like you have this undefeated season.
We
Which
almost had like a pure chaos weekend of college football.
Texas almost lost to Houston. That was a first down. I don't know. Y'all probably didn't watch this game.
Yes,
The
it
Houston
was.
guy gets the first down, and they mark him short. And then they do a rollout pass. Quarterback hits the guy in the hands, and he drops it. Game
That
over.
stuff should be
Texas
video
wins.
reviewed. Like stuff like that under
Yes.
that time. If
They
you
need,
can't,
like,
if
in
coaches
soccer, like
can't
a
challenge
VR
under 2
thing.
minutes. If coaches can't
Yes.
challenge under 2 minutes, you need to have a video review under 2 minutes that is booth initiated for stuff like that.
How can in soccer they have the VAR system, like you just mentioned, Tyler, where they can see if the guy's fingernail is in front of the defender and he's offsides? But you telling me you can't review if the football is across a yard line? Like, come on.
It's
Like,
the same thing they do in tennis, where it's in or out. Like, why can't they do that in college football?
The best officials in any sport is hockey officials. Those guys are the most sound officials I've ever seen in any sport. That puck moves so freaking fast, and they can know if they're offside or
there's
not.
a sensor
like
in
that.
that puck.
And no, there's not a sensor in the puck.
Yes,
But
there
okay,
is.
it's
I
a
listened to
rubber.
a history show.
Really?
Yes, because back in the day they put sensors in the puck to help with broadcasting, because watch a hockey game, you can't tell where the hell the puck is. So they put
They used
sensors
to have
in
the
the
tracer
puck.
on it.
They
Exactly,
used to
they
have the
had the
tracer last
tracer on it.
season.
And so they still
Yeah.
have the sensors in there, I believe. It's just like going to Topgolf.
But,
You got the
but
art.
yeah, that's the thing about it. It's not. It's like a TrackMan, but
Yeah,
there's no sensor inside of a golf
should put a
ball when you
sensor in the
friggin' rip
football.
it 360.
they should put a sensor in the football and tell you the exact
God,
like
no.
coordinates. You would
But
know
if it's
if
off
across-
by just a little bit, you need a laser that goes across the field.
Yeah, you need the VAR system.
Or the turf. Each blade of turf could have a filament of light on it, and you could light up the first down line. On
As
the
you need a trail. As they're running down the field, you get a trail behind the
Footprint.
players. It's like watching the Nickelodeon broadcast. You have a trail behind the players as they're running.
yeah, the slime.
We're solving officiating issues right off the bat. I mean, call us NFL. We got you. We're engineers. We can figure it out. I don't remember what we were talking about. Oh, some chaos. Tyler, some
Chaos.
upsets. I mean, we had some close upsets this week in college football. We got to get to our upset picks for this coming week. So let me find the video clip. Hold on. Here we go. All right, upset picks for the week. We've just been chit-chatting. Tyler, I'll let you start it off. Who you got?
I think Utah over Oregon. I think that the Ducks, I know that they are coming off of bye week, but I'm back on.
Hold on. We lost you. Still don't have you.
Let's go to somebody else.
Okay,
There
we'll come
he
back to you. All right, we're back. All right, upset pick, Tyler. Who you got?
Oregon. Utah, Oregon.
Utah over Oregon. Ducks been struggling. Utah got his Cam Rising's not going to play for the rest
Especially
of the
at
season.
home.
Yeah, I think this Utah defense is just too good. So we'll go Wade. Who you got upset pick?
All right. Well, on the cusp here, since that was my pick too, I second Tyler's. I'm going to go and take the pick I was going to take as my bet of the week as an outright upset. I'm going to take North Carolina State to pull off the upset against Clemson at home.
Okay, I like it. North Carolina State. Clemson just lost, and
They're
overtime
10-point
to
dogs,
Miami.
by the way. So if you don't like it as a straight up upset, that was my original advice. I think 10 points a lot in that game, but I think they could win it.
Is Dabo on the hot seat? What do you
No.
think, Wade? You're our resident South Carolinian.
He's not on the hot seat, but you know, these coaches keep putting players out there, and that's fine. I don't think you should air your dirty laundry like that. I think you can hold players accountable in practice. I think
talking
it's
neutral
100%
lately.
fine to blame a player, but not to do it in the media like that. And then he made an insensitive joke about
Yeah,
his sports psychiatrist being on suicide watch. I mean, come on, Debo.
I mean,
And
the man that
bandwagons.
says he's talking about the psychiatrist needs to be on suicide watch, but you know, NIL, name, image, and likeness of Jesus Christ is what his brand is. So
Yeah, let's stay on
That's,
brand there, Dabo.
yeah, he might want to get his team whipped into shape here pretty soon. Butch, what you got for us?
I got OU. I got the Sooners going down in Lawrence, Kansas against the Jayhawks.
I thought about that, but Tyler, what was our designation before the show? Is Jalen Daniels playing?
It doesn't matter. Mr. Bean, baby.
Okay. All right. He's got Oklahoma losing. I've got one. It's a throwback to the first couple weeks of the season. You got Colorado and UCLA playing in prime time.
Geez.
Give me prime time. Give me Deion Sanders. Get back in the win column. Colorado takes down UCLA. They flush all the haters. It shades on at 7 o'clock. Well, I guess it'll really be like 2 o'clock. It's in California. But shades on, shining bright. Shadur's gonna have his Rolex. I got my Apple Watch. Same thing. And I'm going with the Colorado Buffalo to take down the UCLA. So in prime time. So make sure they're like Colorado's like 21-point dogs. Vegas really doesn't like them.
Nope.
So let's get our picks of the week. Here we go.
It's time for building that bankroll.
All right, so I've got a new strategy for betting on wolf spreads. If you've been watching the show for a few weeks, you know we're this segment's brought to you by Wolf Spreads. Download it on the App Store. Free money, good fun. Everybody has a good time, and it's just there's no risk involved. It's all for bragging rights. So my new strategy, though, you get $2,000 instead of me betting like 100 on every game. I'm betting 500 on 4 games. I did it this week. What was my total at? I think it was close. I think it was over 2,000. $1,900. So I win our sport or our college football betting segment. I had 1,900. Tyler had 170. Wade had 130. Jacob had a big fat 0.
I didn't bet.
NASCAR Neil. Oh well, NASCAR Neil, you got -900. So my recoup come for next week.
To be fair, I didn't tell NASCAR Neil that you lose your bet. Like, not only do you it's not 0 if you lose the bet, like you lose the amount you put in. So he was throwing some serious cash on some bets, but he'll get it.
It's all in good fun. It's all in good fun, right?
Look, one of these weeks I'm gonna win without betting on a game. Like, I'm gonna be first on the list while everybody's in the negative.
You did it last week with NFL.
0. Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I think you did.
I think
good strategy.
I think you did it this week in NFL. Yes, you're first place with 0.
Yes, let's go.
Tanking in NFL.
I was at -1,500, and so was Wade.
I am tearing up the NFL.
Oh, I put
1,000
on Miami last night.
Ooh, well, yeah, we're really selling ourselves good for taking our bets. You know, we're all in the negatives.
Yeah.
But best bet of the week. Let's start with some college. Wade, what do you got?
All right, so I just gave you that North Carolina State upset over Clemson. I'm going to give you another upset for my pick of the week. I'm going to take Kentucky money line against Tennessee. It's a home game. They're 3.5-point dogs. I think you could take the spread too. I think that gives them a field goal at home. I really like that. But I think amongst my 2 games between the Clemson game and North Carolina State and the Tennessee and the Kentucky game, I mean, I would feel comfortable taking either one of those games straight up with the underdog.
Okay, I like it. Kentucky. They're coming off with 2 losses, so let's see them bounce back here. Tyler, what do you got for us?
I'm going to go with a team here. This team is coming off of a big victory, but they should be on upset alert. Give me Wisconsin to cover the +14.5 against Ohio State.
Okay,
They're going to be feeling themselves. They're going into Madison with jump around. I think that Wisconsin keeps it close.
All right, I like it. Wisconsin. What was it? +14?
14.5. Because
14.5.
Mordecai's out for the year, so they're back up. But I trust Luke Fickell and that defense to keep it close.
Luke Fickell, the pickle, baby.
Haven't heard much about him this year.
No, because I forgot it. Where he coached. Jacob, what you got?
I've got Air Force. I've got them covering the 12 points on the road at Colorado State. They're primed to be 12-0 this year. Like,
they're my team.
They are
you think
the
they're making New Year's Six
Tulane
bowl?
of this year. Yes, they will be the representative for Group of 5. Absolutely.
I called it.
Tyler called it before the season.
Called it at the start of the season.
There we go. So my best bet of the week for college here is going to be we have an SEC matchup, a rivalry matchup with Florida Gators taking on the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia is currently favored by 14.5 points. Florida's defense is iffy, right? Georgia has really good defense, but they lost their playmaker in Brock Bowers. I think Florida covers the 14.5. It's a weird number. I don't think they win by 2 touchdowns because Georgia's offense is kind of sluggish right now.
Or they could, but you'd have the half.
They could win by 14, but I was
Or they could just win outright.
It's a rivalry game. Weird. I don't think Florida beats them. Weird things happen. What do they call this rivalry game? Isn't there
the world's largest outdoor cocktail party?
Yeah.
Cocktail
What?
party. Weird name.
Are you kidding me?
Because everybody's drunk in the parking
Not
lot.
really a neutral site either. It's in damn Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's no neutral site for Georgia. So yeah.
Wait, where is it?
Florida.
Jacksonville.
It's about halfway between.
They need to play in like Savannah.
They just need to do a home and home.
Play at the Banana Stadium.
You know what they should do is just go play in like
At Georgia Southern.
Yeah, there you go. Put them at Georgia Southern.
Perfect.
I was gonna just go like to a different state. Go play at like New Orleans. Go play at Super
Or
Bowl.
just be like every other SEC rivalry and play a home and home.
Yeah, don't be weird. Don't have your
I
cocktail
think you
party.
just drag. I think
Well,
you just drag both the
in
asses
3
all the way to
years-
freaking Hawaii and drop them off out
There you
there
go.
and play with the
The
Rainbow
largest
Warriors.
cocktail party. In
They can
Hawaii.
play-
How about when the Jaguars go to London in 3 years?
Boom.
They just play it there.
Let's play at Jacksonville.
That's
It's
going to
probably closer
happen.
to
College
Kansas.
football, international college football is going to happen in the next couple of years.
Jacksonville's
It's
just
going
about to
happen.
move their franchise to London.
Well,
And
no, that's not my bet for this week. Never mind. I was gonna say that perfect segue, Tyler. But yeah, no. Florida 14.5. That's my bet. NFL picks, Tyler. Since you were happy with Jacksonville, is that your NFL pick this week?
No, but I am going to go with a team in their division. I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans. They're playing at home, and they're wearing the baby blues, too.
Or wearing the
I
Oilers
think
jerseys.
they're going to pull off the upset against the Atlanta Falcons. So give me the Tennessee Titans +2 covering that. And I think that they win it outright.
Well, we'll see if Bijan Robinson starts or not. So,
see.
all right, Fletch, what do you got for us on the NFL side?
NFL side, I've got the Jags and the Steelers. Steelers, I think the Steelers can win this game. I mean, they're playing at home, tough place to play, and I think the Steelers have turned the corner, and now better defense. You got some young guys in there. They're making the most of it. Kind of a young, fiery team right now. And I think they can do it. I think Najee Harris has finally
Got a
remembered
touchdown.
that it's maybe he finally remembered the NFL season has started, and
Yeah, really.
Week 7 will make it happen. So I think that the Steelers can win a big game at home over Jacksonville.
Watch, Tyler's going to have them in the sits for this week.
I don't actually.
Okay,
I
good.
told you to not start to draft him. You got one touchdown. Whoop-de-doo. That's going to be about it.
Got me a win this week, though.
One and done.
Wade, what do you got for us on the NFL side?
all right, I'm gonna take the Chicago Bears at +8.5 on the road against the LA Chargers. The LA Chargers are what, 2-5 now?
Yeah.
And so are the Chicago
Super
Bears. They're
fun.
2-5. They got the rookie Division II sensation Tyson Bagent playing quarterback. And let's face it, the LA Chargers will probably win this ball game, but they're 2-5. They don't deserve to be an 8.5-point favorite against anybody. And I think they'll win it close. Even if they win it by a touchdown, the Bears cover.
Okay, well, if you have Cole Kmet, sit him and start Deontay Foreman. Because he lit it up this week.
Yeah.
I'm going on the NFL side. I'm riding with my boy Joey B and 7-Eleven Jamar Chase. They are 5.5-point dogs to San Francisco. It's in San Fran, but I think they had the bye week this week. They're going to be good and rested and come back out firing. Give me Cincinnati to win.
And they're going
outright,
to
but-
punch CMC right in the oblique in the opening play of the game.
Yes, and he's going to fumble the ball. And he's
It's
gonna be
worth the
knocked out.
15-yard penalty.
Yeah, but give me Cincinnati +5.5 versus the 49ers. So with the 2 segments, we got one more segment to get in before we get some NFL talk. It's everybody's favorite one, Matty Ice. I know you're in the chat. Hit us with a dog of the week. Here we go. Who got that dog in him? I'll tell you who got that dog in him. I'll start it. Mr. Javon Baker from UCF. Big touchdown against Oklahoma. He was wide open. I don't know what Oklahoma's defense was doing on this play. Basically a vertical route, take it to the house. As he's running, he turns to the sideline, blows him a kiss, and continues to score. I believe he got a penalty for it. But he might have got away with it.
He did get away with it.
They didn't get the win, but he got his taunting in as he was running down the sideline. Gave him a little smooch as he scored the 65-yard touchdown. So that's my dog of the week, Mr. Javon Baker from UCF. Tyler, who you got for us?
I'll keep it in the Big 12. Wade was right on this team. Oklahoma State, they pulled off the road victory in Morgantown. And Ollie Gordon II, the running back for the Pokes, 29 carries, 282 yards, and 4 touchdowns. As Oklahoma State has started to heat up at the right time. So watch out for that team moving forward. But Ollie Gordon II is my dog of the week.
I like it. Who wants to go next, Wade or Futch? Y'all find it out.
I'll take
Wade.
it. I'll take it. Tyler, I should have backed my upset pick there. I did not take Oklahoma State in real life. I just did it on the show. So missed opportunity there. So yeah, my dog of the week. This is something I wanted to work into the show somehow because I was feeling a little sports deprived last Wednesday night. I threw on the West Virginia versus Marshall men's soccer game. It was number 1 versus number 2. I thought it was a football game when I clicked on it because it was on
Wednesday Night
ESPN+.
Madness, the action.
It's football.
But it was soccer, and their number 1 versus number 2, and it was like 1-1 when I turned it on. And I kid you not, within the first 10 minutes of the game, it was already 4-1. And you never see that in soccer, especially between two really good teams.
They got Lionel Messi out there playing?
Well, they don't have him, but they have Marcus Calderia, who's my dog of the week. The sophomore for West Virginia had a hat trick against the number 1 team in the country in the 5-2 win against Marshall.
Did he do it within the first 10 minutes?
His team had 3 goals within the first 10 minutes. He did not. He scored in the 13th minute but he did score 2 goals in 26 seconds.
Wow.
So he did. Yeah, he scored 2 of the 3 of the goals there in the first 10 minutes. So,
That's crazy.
West Virginia, the state of soccer.
Yeah, I know. They have 2 Power 5 teams or 2 Division 1 teams, and they're number 1 and number 2 in soccer. So
okay. Well, who
little interesting tidbit there, but Marcus Calderia, dog of the week, hat trick.
I think that's the first soccer dog of the week.
That's impressive. That was impressive, Wade. That was very impressive.
Wade, you are
Wade gets the honor of dog of the week.
It was a deep dive, but hey, I thought it was a Wednesday night football game.
I like it. Oh, you thought it was American football. Turns out
it
was football.
But I did know they were number 1 versus number 2, so I mean it made sense when I clicked it on. I saw that on Twitter, and I was like, that's really weird for this state of all states to have the top 2 programs. But
yeah, there you go. All right, Fletch, who you got for us? Who's your dog of the week?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Let's throw some baseball. The Texas Rangers. Looks like they're gonna pull off the comeback and win the series in Game 7 right now. Bottom of the 4th, they're up 8-2 right now.
Oh, good.
Good night.
My dog of the week is Nathan Eovaldi, pitcher for the Texas Rangers. That guy is on fire. He is a postseason powerhouse.
Good game, Nate.
Definitely should win the Cy Young. Just my pick personally was 12-15 this season in starts. He's undefeated in the postseason right now in starts. He's 4-0 and he's incredible. So he's got the most movement I've ever seen out of a pitcher. I wish he stayed with the Red Sox, but he's found a home in Texas. So I think that they're very undervalued, the Rangers, the whole team. So I think Eovaldi was undervalued and found a spot in Texas, and congrats to him and his postseason and season success.
Just rubbing it in there, huh? I mean, shoot, you might as well give it to Garcia. The man's 3 for 3 tonight with a home run and 2 singles, and one of those singles was almost another home run.
Here I am watching this bum football game, and I should be watching the friggin' baseball game.
I mean, Garcia, the grand slam he hit last night was like a piss missile. over the left field wall. So yeah, 8-2 in the bottom of the fourth. I think my
That's a
Stros are
wrap.
done. We got Matty Ices.
There we go.
Who got that dog in him? You want to know who got that dog in him? Miles the Mutant Garrett hurdling a guy
That
and
was
blocking
impressive.
the Colts field goal. hashtag not human.
Yeah, buddy.
We were
Oh,
wondering.
yes.
He puts out all these crazy workout videos, and we're like, all right, why are you really doing this? But you,
Who, Matty
you
Ice
see
or
the
Miles
man.
Garrett?
He
Both.
weighs
Hey,
like
bro.
what? 260?
So you're
Matty
allowed
Ice.
to hurdle the line as long as you don't touch somebody, right?
I don't
think
think you can hurdle the snapper. I think you can hurdle
Okay.
anybody else.
That's a lot of weight hurdling, like to not have
Yeah.
any contact
If you
with
can
anybody.
push, you can hurdle over the line.
Yeah, I mean, that was.
I think
that
you should
was
be able to stand
impressive.
on somebody's back and then springboard up to block the kick.
That's what they should do. They should all
Bobby
just
Boucher.
line up
Stand on
in
them
like
and
a
just knock it
cheerleader
back.
formation.
Just put a
build
backplate on
triangle.
some like backup
Pyramid
linebacker
formation.
and have them sit on the line.
I
Yeah.
want somebody to do the Bobby Boucher and jump over the line and catch the ball and just run all
Yeah.
the like. I want that to happen.
If
Dude,
anybody's
Miles
gonna do it,
Garrett
it's Miles the Mutant.
Yeah.
Miles Garrett almost did it. I mean,
Does he
jumped
go
that
the whole
line.
way? Does he go the whole way before he gets gassed at like the 35-yard line? Like,
Who knows? But I think they should allow them to line up, like you said, Tyler. If it's a tush push is allowed, they should be able to make a pyramid like cheerleaders and block the field goal that way. Make the kicker bend it like Beckham around the pyramid, and go that way. So that's dog of the week. If you're watching, let us know in the comments who your dog of the week. We appreciate it, and hit that like and subscribe button. Help us out here. So let's get to some NFL news. We've talked a little bit about it. Futch, your Patriots take down the Bills, just absolutely beat the snot out of them. Actually, it was a comeback. I won't give
congrats,
them
Bill
that credit.
Belichick, 300th career win.
Congrats, Brian Kelly, 300 career win. That's kind of crazy. They both had it at the same
That's
weekend.
wild.
Both Massachusetts legends.
Yes. Eagles just destroyed the Dolphins. I got duped, as Wade has been duped in the past by these Twitter accounts. I thought Mike McDaniel was actually tweeting out.
I
at the
saw
refs.
that before you sent it to us and thought it was real too.
It turns out it's a
Because
parody
that's something
account.
he would do.
Yes, I mean
It is clearly.
He's got valid points. The ref, it was a little suspect last night. How about Lamar? Tyler, I'm going to give you the floor for your quarterback, Lamar Jackson. You were kind of shitting on him earlier this
I was.
season.
He heard him.
How you feeling now?
Pep talked him.
Feeling
Lamar
great,
listens to us.
Feeling great. You know, it's 1 week. Really good matchup coming up. The Arizona Cardinals. So, looking to continue that momentum. For now, Tua will sit on the bench. He'll get his opportunity whenever Lamar and the Ravens are on the bye week. But yeah, hopefully Lamar is finally playing to his potential so he can carry my team the rest of the way.
Oh, here we go. Matty Ice wants to hear a Saints rant.
No,
Tyler, what you
no,
see from
no.
the Jaguars in the Saints
No.
game on Thursday night?
Same
Is
old
it time to fire everybody?
Yes, it is. It's time to get rid of everybody. Get rid of Derek Carr. I don't
Is
know
it time
why
to sell the
he spent
team?
$100 million to that guy when he couldn't even win in Vegas. I already said what I need to say. It's time to get a franchise quarterback, especially with the talent that you're wasting. So, yeah, I think that I already used up my rant. It's just the same crap every week.
Well, here's the issue I'm finding that the Saints are going to be in, right? Is that they spend all that money on Derek Carr, and when the draft comes around, I promise you they're not taking somebody in the first round if it's quarterback.
I saw like one mock draft had Jared Verse, the Florida State edge rusher, be the Saints
don't
pick.
need-
Like,
Oh yeah, the Saints love an edge rusher.
well,
you know that.
I read the
You just
article.
drafted
Like
one.
Cam Jordan isn't getting
Yeah.
younger was one of their main reasons why. But I mean,
Can
Why don't you
the
get an
defense
O-line
is
to
not
block
the
for your
problem.
friggin' quarterback?
Yeah, they really need an offensive
Well, they
line.
tried that, but Trevor Penning was a bust. Of
They
2
need a
first-round
quarterback.
picks.
That's what
Yes.
they need.
Who would you draft, Tyler? What's the Saints probably won't have a pick higher than the 20s. Just based
Well, I
on
think if the
recent
season
grades.
ended right now, that they would be 11.
Oh,
But
okay.
the good news is for the Saints, you have the Broncos' second-round pick, and right now the season ended. The Broncos would be the third overall pick, so you would have 35. So you would have almost pretty much a top 15 pick. So probably Williams and May will probably be gone. That probably leaves you with either Michael Penix, Jane Daniels. I think Jane Daniels. I would love him with the Saints. I think that he would fit this system perfectly, especially if you get rid of Pete Carmichael and Dennis Allen ASAP.
Here's where we run into a little problem.
What's your problem?
You've got Jameis Winston and Derek Carr.
Yeah, we're stuck with
depth
him
chart
for a
right
couple
now.
of years.
Well,
you're not stuck with Winston. Send him. He signed a 1 year.
Hey, it's just a
contract.
1 year deal.
Send Jameis Winston too. That guy couldn't be a freaking
You don't
water
have to send.
half the teams
you
in
don't
the
have to
NFL.
send- Hey, it's a 1 year contract. He's done at the end of the season.
He's probably going to go to another team.
Yeah, you don't need him.
There's going to be some
him.
team that wants him. I mean, look
And
at
then
the
you
Bears
can-
situation. Look at the Colts situation right now.
Kirk Cousins, bring him to New Orleans.
No,
They
no
need to
more
trade-
veteran
they need to
crap.
I already
It's like
know
the
where
Colts.
this is
They
gonna
need to
happen.
trade for Bailey
we can
Zappi.
talk all we want about the Saints trying to get a quarterback, but this front office has never shown. Going back to the Sean Payton days, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna get Patrick Mahomes," and then Kansas City comes right in front of them. And what did they draft? Marcus Davenport. He was such a bum and a bust.
Well, I think they
so,
thought they had Mahomes in the bag.
Yeah, they thought that they had
That's-
Mahomes in the bag, and then another year they were
What
trying to
could've
get
been?
Lamar, and Baltimore got him, and you drafted another bum. I don't even know. I think it was who I don't know. It was somebody else. I think Peyton Turner, who's been injured.
The
his
hell,
whole entire
Peyton
career.
Turner.
Yeah,
Another edge.
yeah, another edge who gets hurt every season. Like he's like on the IR every damn day.
Michael
Looking
Penix.
at
I wasn't
that.
gonna rant, but Matt brings up the Saints and it gets
Matty
my
Ice
blood
loves
boiling.
it. Michael Penix
Not
in New
feeds
Orleans would
off
be a
it.
good fit with. You got Michael Thomas. I
Yeah.
think
You just
maybe
need somebody to get it down the field because some of these play calls, like on fourth down, please stop trying to do a fade, especially to Chris Olave. Olave looks like
Yes.
he's just quit on this team.
And I was hating on Olave last week. I'm kind of thinking it's more Derek Carr's the problem with
It
the
is.
attitude he's got on.
He's
the field.
over there like freaking bitching at people, and he's the main problem.
Yeah, the dude can't throw. He throws a dead duck in the air 4 straight
Yeah.
times.
He can
Hand it off to
blame
Taysom
his AC
Hill.
joint or not. He's been a mid quarterback his whole entire NFL career. He wasn't good at Fresno, and he's got all this talent.
Trade
He's not
for
very
Bailey
good.
Zappi.
Wasting
Trade for
all this
Bailey
millions
Zappi.
of
Let's
dollars
go.
on some
The
bum.
Zappinator.
If Bailey Zappi was worth a damn, he would be taking snaps for New England.
But
Yeah,
Well, no,
Please
they
draft a
believe in the Mac
fantastic
Jones
quarterback.
because
That's
Mac
all I
Jones
have.
went to Alabama and he is the almighty. Like that is
like the
That is
Panthers are in a much better situation because Bryce Young is going to develop
develop
into being a good
Yeah.
quarterback. I know that they're 0-6, but you got to take your lumps. The Saints
Well-
are just stuck with how do we get back to the Sean Payton, Drew Brees era? And they're just stuck in that, and they're going to be
they
stuck
need
in
to just
that
forget it.
as long as you have a mid quarterback and a coach that doesn't know what the hell he's doing every week because he's 18-42 in the NFL, and then Pete Carmichael. I'm over him.
Like I said earlier, you got when Drew Brees was here. Drew Brees was Batman. Sean
Yep.
Payton was Robin. Pete Carmichael was the
Mhm.
freaking butler, not doing jack
He was just
shit
the side
in the
man.
cave.
He was like looking at his
Exactly.
play call sheet, like acting like he's doing something. And damn well Sean Payton was
Denny's
all
menu.
of the guru behind all offensive plays.
Yeah, so it's
All that's gone.
struggle. It's a struggle. I'm with Wade. Fire the whole front office. Just get rid of everybody. Whole new team.
Change the colors to purple and green. Everything.
Well,
Just
change to
change.
purple and gold,
I'm
baby.
kidding.
Just bring LSU in. We know what we're doing. Who else? The Broncos beat the Packers in a quote for quote in a battle of suck. End quote from Tyler from our writer here. Yeah, that was a bad beat by me. I had 500 on the Packers to win.
I did
'cause
too.
I
And we
didn't think
both
the
brought into the Jordan Love show for the
Yeah.
weekend.
Sorry about that.
fantasy team still won, so that's okay.
I started him in one league and I might win. So
Yeah, that one was rough. Maybe the Broncos are doing something. In a live check-in, the Vikings are winning 16-7, and Jordan Addison is having himself.
I
an
should have started
absolute
Kirko, man. He's
field
having a
day.
hell of a game.
Yep, I'm dead.
Oh, they're doing the tush push right now with Kirk, and he lost yards. So
Kirk Cousins got a rushing touchdown, and I missed out on it by having him on the bench. I'd be pretty
Well,
upset.
So this is how you stop it. We talked about this earlier, and Tyler wants it banned, but you stop it by your middle linebacker jumping over the center and tackling the quarterback as he gets the snap. You have to have somebody anticipate the snap and jump over, and that's the only way you're going to stop it. Go full Troy Polamalu on these fools.
Penn State did it against Ohio State.
Yeah, so it can be stopped. The defense just has to be better. Just the Eagles are really good at running it. So Tyler, you got your fantasy football corner queued up. Let's get some fantasy talk here.
I don't even want to talk about fantasy right now.
You want me to take it?
Sure. You want to take it? I mean, I'll just show that you.
I'll show
you the slideshow. You just give us. I would carry over there if you're one loss.
I gotta prepare.
Like, what do I know?
I can give you my take on it, but that's
okay. Well, let me go through it, and I'll open up the floor to you because the way that my team's looking right now, I need it to. So let's get into the starts and sits of the week, heading into week number 8. Like I always say, we're one step closer getting to the fantasy playoffs. Either you're in a good position or you need it. Might be time to make a trade. So let's go on now to the quarterback start of the week. Go with Jared Goff. Now, I know the Lions did not have a great week against the Baltimore Ravens, but they are due for a bounce back. They come back home to Ford Field. They're going to be rested coming into this Monday night matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders defense is a defense that I cannot trust, especially in fantasy football. As you see there, Jared Goff, it was some garbage time yardage, 284 yards, had no touchdowns, only 10 points for your fantasy teams. I think coming back home, I think that the way that Amon-Ra St. Brown, that connection, and then Jahmyr Gibbs, he looked pretty good as well. So I think that Jared Goff in this Lions offense, I just don't think that they're going to have 2 back-to-back dud of a weekends. I think that they bounce back with a huge victory against the Raiders. So you are starting Jared Goff this week against a not so great of a Raiders defense. Let's go on now to the running back start of the week. I'm not going to lie. I missed on my running back start of the week with Josh Jacobs. He did not really get the output that we were hoping for, but this guy is Isaiah Pacheco going up against the Denver Broncos, and we are going up against these defenses that are not so very good. I know that the Broncos held the Green Bay Packers to 16 points, but this is not the Green Bay Packers offense. Isaiah Pacheco coming off of a game where he had a receiving touchdown. Would not be surprised if he does it again. I think that he's going to have a great game on the rushing. Denver Broncos are the worst team in the NFL in the rushing department, so I think that Isaiah Pacheco is going to get fed early and often. So this is definitely a must start. If you if you're an Isaiah Pacheco fantasy owner, this is the matchup that you are salivating all over, especially with a team like the Denver Broncos coming off of a win. But I think that the Chiefs, the way that their offense has been rolling, got to roll with Pacheco this week against the Broncos. Okay, let's go on now to the pass catcher start of the week. I know this is a tough defensive matchup for this guy, but he's coming off of the bye week, and he's also healthy. Jamar Chase.
Always open.
Yeah, he's always going to be open. I think that, the Bengals are going to have a rough time on the rush. Joe Mixon is probably, not a really start of the week. So I think if the Bengals are going to want to win this matchup and cover that 5-point spread, I think that Jamar Chase is going to have to get active. We saw in the past couple of weeks, Joe Burrow is starting to get healthier and healthier, and Jamar Chase is definitely feeding off of that energy. So I think that Jamar Chase, you drafted him in the top 2 picks of the draft. You really have to trust him going forward. I know it's a tough defense, but I think that the secondary of the 49ers isn't as good as their defensive line. So you got to trust Jamar Chase against the San Francisco 49ers. I think that he's going to score a touchdown and have himself a day coming off of the bye week, fully healthy and ready to go against San Fran. So let's go on now to the sits. First off with the quarterback sit of the week, and it is Matthew Stafford. A defense I don't really trust going up against is the Dallas Cowboys, especially coming off of the bye week. That was a defense that they've been dealing with a lot of injuries, so they really needed that. Matthew Stafford and the offense struggled against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I think the struggles are going to continue. He got a touchdown threw one to Puka Nacua this past week. Cooper Kupp back and healthy. So this offense does have some potential. So that's definitely some worrisome. But I'm going to trust the Dallas Cowboys to get the job done. So Matthew Stafford, if you have anyone else on your bench, I think that Matthew Stafford is the sit of a week going up against a tough Cowboys defense. It's going to get after. That's the team that's going to be pissed off. They haven't been playing too good as of late. They've been humbled lately. So I think that the Cowboys bounce back against Matthew Stafford. Well, I hate to keep this streak up, but Jacobs' running back is once again on the sit of the week. Sorry to do this to you, but Miles Sanders is my running back sit of the week. He's been hurt. I know that they are coming off of the bye week, so he's probably going to be expected to play in this one, but I just can't really trust Miles Sanders yet. He's been up and down and up and down. And going up against the Texas defense that's going to be fresh, also coming off of the bye week. These are two teams coming off. They're going to be having fresh legs. The Texans defense has been one of the most improved defensive units. They have talent on all three levels. So staying away from pretty much anybody on this Carolina offense until they improve. So Miles Sanders, with the injury and also going up against a tough defensive front, you're sitting Miles Sanders this week. So go on now to the wide receiver sit of the week is going to be Rashid Shaheed. Now, really the main factor is you really got to rely on a big play. And, some weeks you can. Last week, it didn't. Only 4 receptions and 28 yards. He is going up against the Indianapolis Colts defense. I know that they just gave up 39 points to pretty much a backup quarterback with P.J. Walker, but you just don't know who's going to have that big game for the Saints. Is it going to be Michael Thomas? Is it going to be Olave? Is it going to be Rashid Shaheed? If you really look at the Saints offense, though, it's been the Alvin Kamara show. So I think that's really the only Saints player you can trust right now. Derek Carr has been looking to him early and often. So I think that the Colts secondary, they're tough. This is a tough matchup for me. So stay away from Rashid Shaheed this week going up against the Colts defense. So that's the starts in the sits heading into week number 8.
Yeah. So Shaheed, I've got a relationship with him where I either start or sit him because
you're sitting him.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna sit him this week. And a lot of the time in our league because he gets kickoff and punt return yards, but that hasn't been happening the past few weeks. And like I mentioned,
Teams are
Derek Carr,
kicking away from him.
Yeah, Derek Carr's a bum. So I wouldn't even touch that offense besides Alvin Kamara. So you had Matthew Stafford on the sit. How do you feel about Cooper and Puka though?
I still feel good about them. I think that, those two guys are going to get it. Obviously their running back situation isn't great right now. Kyron Williams, he's been out. So they're going to have to rely heavily on the pass game. So I think that there's probably going to be like 1 or 2 touchdowns, but I think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to get a couple of turnovers to really turn that game upside down, especially at AT&T Stadium. I think that, you still are starting, Puka and Cooper, but it's not going to be, the gaudy numbers like over 100 yards a game. One of them is going to be limited. I would probably say that, Puka would have the better matchup since, Cooper Kupp is going to be on, Dallas's quarterback one. But other than that, I think that, I would definitely still start the 2 wide receivers, but don't really trust Stafford.
Okay. Fletch, do you agree with him? We need your advice since you're leading our league now.
I agree with you, Tyler, for the most part. Yeah, I agree. Matthew Stafford just probably is a good sit for the week. I don't trust the Rams' offensive line. I think that's for me what it is. I just don't trust them long enough to hold them. Dallas's defense from getting to Stafford. He'll probably go down, I think, at least 4 times in that game. I don't see them being able to stop Micah Parsons, and he'll be able to get to him, I think, at will and cause some dump down passes. And I just think it's gonna be hard for the Rams to move the ball with Stafford. So yeah, I think that I agree with that. As far as Shaheed goes, I think that the Saints are using him in the backfield quite a bit, which is interesting.
That offense is he's so big play dependent.
Yeah.
It's been a very heavy Kamara offense since he was returned.
Yes, which is great because I have Alvin Kamara.
Hey, Christian McCaffrey, 47-yard touchdown reception just now.
Yep, just saw that. So
he has 2 on the day.
Yeah,
my biggest thing with your
slow start, but he came through for Old Faithful.
I will say Fletch Madison dropped a touchdown pass. So.
I know. I watched it, unfortunately. So no, I agree with it for the most part. Only one that I disagree with is Jamar Chase. I just think I think it's going to be tough for them
what
to
Addison's
score the
doing tonight. I think that Chase could do the same.
Yeah, I
mean, you're not going to sit him, but maybe you don't expect 20 points.
Yeah,
it's
just a lot of points. It's just a lot of points for me. Like I that's my biggest thing.
Hey,
like,
I could have put Amon Ra again, but I didn't want to be biased again. He has a really juicy matchup against the Raiders.
All right.
Well, so let's talk about Jordan Addison. Currently, he's got 6 catches for – that's Dawson Knox. Come on, man. What am I doing?
He has 110 yards and a touchdown.
Six catches, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. My bad.
Almost 3. He almost scored a third earlier.
Should we expect this type of performance from him now? Kind of replace the Justin Jefferson role until Jettas returns? Who do they play next week?
Yeah, I mean, I think you certainly
would
expect it.
Green Bay.
It's good for Kirk Cousins.
Are they? No, they're playing the Packers.
Next week they play the Packers.
I agree.
Yeah, so I agree with you, Tyler. Good for Kirk Cousins. And I think if you got a receiver on the bye, he's not like, I mean, he's had good games in the past couple of weeks. He's currently wide receiver number 39 because he's second to Justin Jefferson, right? But he's had a touchdown in every week but 2. This week tonight he's got 2. Last week he had 1, and he only had 3 catches, but he had a touchdown. Week before he had 9 targets, 6 catches, 65 yards, and a touchdown. So he's on the up and up. And I think he'll continue to be on the up and up. They take Green Bay and then Atlanta, so that Green Bay matchup might be tough. But if you need somebody, maybe you should sub in Addison there to start it off. So any other outliers for our fantasy football listeners that you want to throw in there, Tyler, that you missed? Maybe some pickups, some waiver wires floating around?
No. I ain't doing that anymore. I need
Darrell Henderson, baby.
That's all I'm going to give is the starts and the sits. I'm not giving more than that.
Deonta Foreman, if he's in your league, I mean,
for
he
sure
lit it up this week against Las Vegas, 33 points. So that's definitely a waiver pickup if he's available, which he probably
you need to tight end. Jonnu Smith, I think, is a guy that's starting to heat up. I know that he's had like back-to-back games. When I picked him up, he had 14 points and 14 points. It's a matter of, is it going to be Kyle Pitts? Is it going to be Jonnu Smith? Right. It's pretty much a 2 tight end situation. I think you can trust both now. Like saying that you can trust Kyle Pitts, we wouldn't be able to say that in the preseason.
Whoa! I started him this week and he got me 8 points. So
you got to start him from now on. Desmond Ritter's starting looking to him very often. I was way off on Bijan. I'll go ahead and say that. I did not, even with a headache or not. It's like Tyler Algier is still like in the mix.
Told you. At the beginning of the season. Yes.
Neil.
Then why don't you start the fantasy football corner next season then, Mr.
Well, no, I'm just telling you that I think Algier was like, he was a success last year, and I just felt like Atlanta was going to get back to him again. Whether Bijan's hurt or not.
Cordero, he's got to get back in the mix,
getting touches.
Yeah, I love to have a Cordero on the team, but not this year. So let's get, before we wrap up the show, let's get the NASCAR Neil update. NASCAR Neil was in Baton Rouge this weekend visiting Wade. They took on the Army game. Had a fun time at the tailgates, it sounds like. So here we go. The Kevin Harvick Forever 400 started off with a nice tribute to retiring Harvick, who won his championship here. For this race, they had some interesting paint schemes that he won in as well, with his sponsor switching brands to allow it. The race goes green with a strong battle between the front row drivers of Truex and Wallace. In a few laps into the run, Brad Kay enters the mix. Kyle Larson marches up to the front and battles with Brad Kay till he ultimately takes the lead for the second half of the stage, till Stenhouse spins out and brings out a caution that took them to the stage break. Larson carries his dominance into stage 2 till the end when Blaney gets the lead and wins the stage. During stage 3, the pit stops from Larson try to shorten the gap on the leader Blaney as they enter the pits, but he clips the sand barrels at the entrance, so we got some some drama in here, bringing out a caution mid-cycle. They'll restart with 34 laps to go. Hamlin and Blaney fight hard, but in doing so, Mr. Bell gets around them, and they continue to battle for position, but Hamlin got loose and slammed the wall, causing damage to his car. And at this time, Truex engine blows out, taking out 2 Gibbs playoff cars. So not great for Team Gibbs. The next run starts with a Bell-Blaney front row, which they battle for the remainder of the race, with Bell taking the lead and a checker locking himself into the final 4. Next week's race as Martinsville is the last race before the championship, with the points line being a stage win and a few spots away for most drivers to get above the line, especially if we have a repeat round of 8 winner or a non-playoff winner. So you got the championship in a couple weeks. We'll see who takes that NASCAR trophy. That's all I got tonight, boys. Good show. We had fun. We had some laughs. We had some jokes. We cried because the Astros are losing. Anything else from the sports world?
That's a success right there.
No, it's not a success. Wade, you got any midweek soccer we should be tuning into?
No midweek soccer, but do have volleyball tomorrow, and I don't know if I ever recapped it for you guys, but my team
Where we
finished
at?
with a
Where we at?
respectable 4 wins last year,
Okay.
so we're looking to build on it.
Nice. And Wade, you'll be
we're 1-1 on the year. So
what? Do you have the shirt that you will be wearing tomorrow night since you lost in fantasy?
Well,
do you have it nearby?
You see, Mr. CMC just had a huge run. So after we get off this show, I'm going to go sweat it out with the wife and see who's going to be donning the shirt. And look, I'll double it. If I lose, I'll wear it on the show next week.
That's what I like to hear. All right, Elise.
What is it? I don't even know if I know about that.
You'll get to see it because then I'll like what I'm losing. I'll text you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, boys.
I'm going to save myself the embarrassment if I don't have to wear it.
Okay.
Hey, look, wish my girls luck tomorrow, day 2 state championship. We're in 3rd place right now. We are 7 strokes off the lead.
Okay.
So
we need some Tiger-esque moments. 7 strokes back, but
we got some movement. We need to turn in a good round tomorrow, and hopefully we can lock it up.
Send a spy over there to the opposing team so you can pick up the strokes.
Yeah, I don't know if it works like that.
Just start
get some coughing in their backswing, Futch. Get a little right when they take it back.
Cut your
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good luck. Good luck to the St. Patrick Fighting Irish out there. See if they can lock up the boys won the state championship, didn't they?
The boys won district. Now, state championship will be up next Monday and Tuesday. So I'll be doing the show from the comfort of my hotel room.
Nice.
On the road.
Monday, while we
Where's
are
it
in
at?
Corinth, Mississippi, which is 10 miles from the Tennessee-Mississippi state line. So, yeah.
That's
5.5 hours.
Didn't know they had golf that
the
far
way
north
out.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Figured all they had
It
was
does
beer
exist.
stands. Okay. Well, good luck. Good luck to you. That we'll catch up with you next week. With that, hit that subscribe button if you're watching. If you're listening, give us a review, a follow. We appreciate everybody tuning in every week. It's been fun. We hope everybody has a blessed week and that all your sports teams win, unless you're Penn State. Go Tigers or the Bruins.